Almost all telecom subscribers in Nigeria have, at one point or the other, suffered incidences of illegal deductions of airtime.
Now, these deductions, which come in various forms, such as inaccurate charges, charges for unsubscribed services, sudden loss of airtime, depletion of data bundle, among others, are complaints put forward by Nigerians who say it is all part of the operators' fleecing tactics.
A recent quarterly complaint record, released by the Nigeria Communications Commission revealed that unauthorized deductions account for the highest number of complaints received by the regulator. But telecom operators have absorbed themselves of any blame, saying the deductions were not meant to swindle the customers. They argue that in most cases, the subscribers unknowingly are subscribed for the services they are being charged. Okay.
That's
What a reason?
What a reason, really.
But I think the point there is we have all been in this situation where sometimes I think there's a code number, maybe like a 5534, for instance, calls you, and then you pick, and then automatically you are subscribed for something you don't know.
Really?
Yes.
How do you?
So,
you know, like they say, you don't cut a person's hair behind them. It's a proverb. I don't know which language I should put it out there now. But anyway,
he's an African. He's an African.
He's still very much here. Maybe he'll help us out in Obohu. But really, this.
It's okay. It's all right.
You have to be there for them to shave your hair.
Very good.
That's Obohu and Mbise language.
Okay. All right.
Now, this is a very serious matter.
Very, very serious.
A lot of Nigerians have been complaining, including all three of us here. We don't seem to understand exactly what is going on. And for the telcos to now say that Nigerians have been subscribing without knowing that they're subscribing, that is the reason why these deductions have been happening, it's mind-boggling. I don't know which is more troubling, the fact of these illegal deductions or unauthorized deductions, or the response from the telcos.
Both. Because I don't know what they are trying to say. Are they saying we are not I am not literate enough to know
when you subscribe, I'm not,
when
either caller tunes or something.
Or caller tune or the rest of them. I have. In fact, I don't know for the last how many years now, I have not subscribed to any caller tune. I don't need any caller tune. Just leave my money the way it is. But people will come and say, oh, this music that is played, I like that music and rest of that. And they will tell you, hey, if you want to press one, press. Nobody presses anything. They automatically give it to you.
Even when you press and say stop, I do not need.
No, they will say stop. They will say send this thing to this.
They deduct money also. I hear that they deduct money also from that unsubscription.
That is, you see.
Someone
can
has
you
said
imagine?
That.
It's possible.
Someone has said
the problem, you know, that is the fundamental problem we're having. That's the fundamental problem we're having. We are complaining that the Gencos and the Discos and the rest of them they are fleecing us with unnecessary bills. The banks, on a daily basis, we continue to deduct. They say this one is this 50 naira for this, and this one is charges and that are not, you know, that kind of thing. Then the telecom. I was just telling you a very good example as we were just this before we came on there. How I subscribe to for data from one of the. In fact, I have to mention because I'm so annoyed. I've told them.
Sorry, don't mention the company.
Mike, let me
please.
No.
Sorry.
No.
Okay.
I know we walk up, but then
you know, I subscribe. You were mad luck. I subscribed just about 2 days ago.
Yes.
For data. For goodness sake, before I wake, you know it.
Next day.
They said the next day is gone. I did not download House. I did not download anything. There's nothing I downloaded. Just the normal, just take and the rest of it. Yes. Then I just thought it was a mistake. Then I subscribed again. Yeah. The next day it was, and I was asking myself, how can I pay 3,000 naira within just a day, just nothing, all just to check your mail, the normal, your Facebook, WhatsApp, and that was all. And I just asked myself, and I said, okay, I'll drop you. I don't know. But go to another one, it's almost the same thing. Everybody. Then I continue to ask myself, what is NCC doing? The kind of response I get from, I'm reading from the NCC is not right. Them, to even add to our mystery, the agency that are supposed to protest us, the Consumer Protection, right? Is not even doing anything about it, and we continue complaining and complaining and complaining. Then that is even worse. The new one, there was one of the telecom also that I bought a recharge card of about 1,000 naira. Tried to recharge. They say it's now 17 digits or whatever. I never knew. I recharged and the thing wasn't going. And I kept it in my pocket. The next day, you know what they told me? If I try it again, that they'll ban me. And I dropped it. Then that was how that one, I don't even know where the recharge card. And that has been happening to so many people. And I continue asking myself, you try to call the
customer care.
Do you know that even when you call them now, they're charging you for calling them?
Oh,
wow.
That's strange.
Yes, most of them charge. You won't even know.
And it's supposed to be free.
And it's supposed to be free. What is happening?
Yeah, it's supposed to be toll free.
What is happening?
When it comes to the authorities, the NCC is supposed to oversee activities in that regard. But I wonder if they're monitoring enough or they wait for complaints to come before they act.
They do anything.
I think from what I heard, they wait for complaints to come. Okay, it's just like like our Nigerian police. If you don't report, how we gonna say case today? Most of them that are not. You have been some charges and rest of them, just like we have with the certificates and the rest of them. Or one of the ministers, the police said, has there anybody sent us any petition? So before we start investigation. Yes. So the same thing with I think with the regulatory body. Yeah, they to some extent I knew that there was a time they gave some numbers that you have any problem, you have any complaint, please call this number and it will be resolved. But we are talking of over close to 120 million subscribers. How will we be able to cope if they continue calling?
I recall at the time the telcos came on board, they were projecting about 5 million subscribers within the first 10 years, if I recall very well, only for them to be totally overwhelmed. And you wonder whether there's a link, really. And come to think of it, talking about links, do you think there is a link between those huge sums that the telcos are owing and these illegal deductions? Are Nigerians paying
I want to believe so. I want to believe so because, like some schools of thought mentioned, when the initial fine came, and said, well, don't worry, you people, some people were saying, don't worry, you people will pay for it. Don't worry, we will pay the money, but you will pay for it indirectly. It's very difficult for us to even know what is it. Most of, before, if we, in those days, where you make a call, after the call, we try to check how much is my balance, and nobody does that again now. So you don't even know how much you are charged. Okay, it started in those days. It started with 1 minute call, whether if it was 1 second or whatever, they will charge you for 1 minute. I hope you remember. Until the Nigerian telecom brand came in and said, no, we can do this thing within per seconds. And they came. But now we don't even know what they charge. People don't know what they are charged. People don't know. You have drop calls. You pay for it. You make calls. Somebody will be you'll be talking. They're not even listening. Nobody's hearing you. And when you drop, it's gone. You've paid for it. These are not the kind of things that happen in advanced countries. It doesn't happen. And we have been on this for close to how many years? Since about 2000 or 2001? 2001. By now, we're supposed to have gotten this right. And they are telling you, oh, we are paying for infrastructure, there's no power, there's no this. Didn't they know that there's no power in Nigeria before they came into the business? No,
but to be fair to them, from the area of infrastructure and the challenges that they face, how would you rate or assess the issue of security around their masts, the cost of diesel, the cost of keeping the power, keeping the power stations on for them? It's certainly not. It's not child's play at all.
Yes, it's not child's play. But I know that all those things have been factored in their rates. They cannot just put it. They have already factored those things into their rates, and rest of them, they know that. I know that, for example, I know that some time ago when we had several crises within the Northeast, and most of those things, in fact, the whole of Borno was shut off completely. I knew at a point during the time that Boko Haram, they had to shut down. Then also in some parts and the rest of them. But even at that, for goodness sake, Mike, you are your own power generator. You power your house. Nobody relies on NEPA or whatever now. There's no home in Nigeria that doesn't have one generating set or the other now. So they know that, they know the challenges, they know the problem. We agree. We know about the problem they face with this. But don't forget also that there was a point that the federal government was also giving them some level of incentives. Yes, they were. When they came in, I think they were in the first 3-4 years, it was tax-free for them. Yes, it was. Most people have forgotten that that was what happened, so that they'll be able to recoup some of this.
So what should Nigerians now be looking at exploring in terms of pushing this kind of infractions back on the part of the telcos? I mean, I recall that not too long ago, one of the telcos, I think in May, had to pay 500,000 to a subscriber. And I wonder, you know, compared to what they're making, the humongous amount they're making, well, what is 500,000? You know, I mean, how will that really serve as a deterrent? Should Nigerians begin to look at class actions where the mass of us actually come together and take these telcos to court?
Yes, I think that's a telecom consumer, what do they call that? I know there's an organization of telecom consumers.
Yes.
I used to see that.
Yes.
I know that there have been instances where they've taken up some of these issues and the rest of them. Then even the NCC has gone a bit further to have this consumer forum where they invite people to come and make complaints and the rest of them.
Yeah, but it seems those complaints.
That's what I'm going to. That's what I'm going to. Those complaints have not been taken seriously. I think the whole blame goes to the doorstep of NCC. Look at what the central bank is doing now with the 4 banks. These were the problem we had with you. These were the issues we had with you. These are the things that this is what we discovered. You are fine. Okay? If the same thing goes, precisely, if we are very, very decisive in some of these actions and taking sanction, giving the necessary sanction, I'm sure all of them will sit up.
But NCC fined one of the frontline telcos a few years ago, $5 billion.
Yes, they were fined $5 billion, which I know they are still paying and the rest of them. But that in itself, I think within that period, was able to make them realize that it's no longer business as usual. Okay? That should be extended to some. I don't see any reason why, because what they are doing is they are defrauding people. Point blank, what they are doing is actually defrauding. Don't you think they're doing it
because they believe they can actually get away with it?
That is what I'm talking about, sanctioning.
Where do you think the National Assembly really needs to step in? Because the Senate in 2017 actually said, yes, truly, these telcos are defrauding Nigerians. And you wonder whether they should go beyond just acknowledging the fact and, you know, making laws to actually criminalize this infraction.
I totally agree with you. But even at that, what we need to do is that we already have existing laws. We already have existing agencies that can be able to handle some of these things. First, I've talked about NCC. Then the Nigerian Consumer Protection Council, the MPC or whatever. That is their job. It's not only for telecom, and even other, you go to places, even stores, your normal stores, you go and buy something, and you get home and realize that, for goodness sake, this is not worth it. It's not worth this thing. You're supposed to take it back. If you go to the States and you pick up something, and you're not satisfied, you bring it back with your receipt, and they either give you back your money or ask you to take something. It doesn't happen here.
No.
That is consumer protection. And those are the kind of, those are why those agencies it's not just for them to be doing jamboree on National Consumer Day, they roll out the drum and march around the streets and the rest of them.
But then again, Nigerians seem to be laid back when it comes to ensuring that their rights, their consumer rights are protected. Yes. Isn't that a
No, because most often than not, the system doesn't encourage that. For goodness sake, Mike, if I decide to take one of the telcos to court, do you know how long it's going to take me?
Yeah.
Do I have the wherewithal? Do I have the money? Do I have the? That is why the government established certain agencies to handle that for me.
On the behalf
yes,
of
on behalf of the people. And that's what they're supposed to be doing. So, and what I'm also saying is that, are they even monitoring, is the NCC even monitoring what they are doing? That is the problem. Are they monitoring? Every month they come up with all sorts of statistics. Oh, we've seen the disruption in services and the rest of them. What are they doing to make sure that Nigerians get value for their money?
Yeah.
All right. We hope they're monitoring. The only thing Nigerians expect is decisive action to ensure that this unnecessary charges
will act as a deterrent.
Come to an end.
I totally agree.
All right. Chris Kende Wandu, CEO of CKN News, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful
and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Have a great weekend.
Thank you.